Happy Monday. No, Friday. Friday, stop. No. Happy Friday, not Monday. Happy Friday. Good morning, Captain Coder here. We're working on crazy marble physics. Crazy marble. Yo, Taurus King, happy Friday, my friend. Moon is Tani, thank you so much for being here. Happy to have you. Welcome back. Welcome aboard. It's a good day. It's a beautiful day because it's Friday. No, Tani, stop. It's not Monday. It's a happy Friday. It's a happy Friday. No, we're moving into the weekend, my friend. The weekend. It can't be Monday. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right, we're here. We've got a freshly brewed cup of coffee. Because if you want to fuel like a winner, if you want to be a winner, you gotta fuel like a winner. And one way to do that is to caffeinate your body just enough. Don't over caffeinate. It's good. Tani was saying, I finally ditched Windows 8.1. You were on 8.1 still? That's woo. Ditched Windows 8.1 day, upgraded Windows 10 because Microsoft ended support. When did 8.1 come out? That was such a long time ago. That was I was still living on, in New England at that time. Dramulks, ahoy there, matey. Welcome back. Happy to have you. It's been doing updates for 3 hours, only at 21%. That's brutal. That's brutal. My computer, I should upgrade it. I haven't upgraded it to Windows 11 yet. I'm on Windows 10 still. I will say there was a lot of hate on Windows 10. I actually like Windows 10. That said, I've only really recently started doing it. Ghost MIPS, Ghost MPS, welcome back. Hey, it's been a while. How have you been? It's nice to see you here. But yes, good morning, everybody. I hope everyone's doing well today. I wanted to start today with a joke. This is one of my favorite jokes. So I've been doing in when I teach young students. I like to start class with a question of the day. Ghost Mip says, been busy doing Learn Unity course. Good for you. Learn anything good? Tani says Windows 11 is going to stay bad for at least 2 more years. That's probably true. I mean, they're trying though, right? They're constantly trying to improve and make things better. Yeah, my computer's been bugging me to upgrade it for a while. All right, so I like to start my classes with a question of the day. Not every day, most days though, just to get people thinking, spend 5 minutes asking and talking a little bit. But this week I've asked, what's your favorite joke? All right, so I'm gonna get people to share their favorite jokes with me here. But here's one of my favorite jokes, and I teach young students, so it has to be a clean joke, clean jokes only. All right, but you may or may not have heard this one. There's a family of tomatoes. There's a mama tomato, a papa tomato, and a baby tomato. All right, they decide to go for a walk. And the dad's in a hurry. He's not a big fan of going on walks. But the wife, Mama Tomato really wanted to go. He's like, all right. And they're off for a walk. And so the dad wants to get this walk over. So he's walking real fast. He's walking really, really fast. And the baby tomato's legs are too short. It can't keep up. It's falling behind. And the mom's like, come on, George. We got to slow down. We got to wait for little Tommy. And so Tommy the tomato dad like, come on, Tommy. And Tommy runs to catch up. And he catches up with him. And he's like, all right, you better keep up. And so they keep walking. Sure enough, Tommy's little legs fall behind. Mom's like, we gotta wait, George, we gotta wait for Tommy. He's like, all right, Tommy, get up here. And when the baby tomato runs up, catches up with him, the dad looks to me and is like, all right, you better stay with us. You better walk fast, keep up with us. This is your last chance. And so they start walking again. Poor little Tommy's legs aren't long enough, so Tommy falls behind. The dad's not having it. Dad, George, the big angry dad tomato, looks back, walks over to the baby tomato, Tommy, and steps on him. Says, that'll make you catch up. Anyway, I told that to my students and they were horrified. I thought that joke was hilarious. The old Tarsking, that's a saucy joke. Yeah. I think my dad told me that joke when I was younger, but I told my students that yesterday. They're like, "Oh my God, he killed the baby tomato." I was like, "Well, he turned him into ketchup. He turned him into ketchup." Students' eyes bulging out, going like, "Oh my goodness, oh my goodness, you just told us you just murdered a baby." Is it lump? Yield Taurus King asks, "What do you call a dog with no legs? Lump? What do you call it? I would call it lump." Oh, anything you want, he won't come to you. That's ooh, that one's equally disturbing as the tomato joke. That's anything you want, he won't come to you. That's ooh. Oh man, we're in trouble here. We're in trouble here. All right. Sorry, let me catch up on the chat here real quick. Ghost MPS, upgrading your laptop with an SSD. Nice, yeah, SSD. It's the way to go. If you can get a nice fat SSD, so fast, so much faster than those spinning discs. Okay. Alrighty. So today, what are our goals today? Let's take a look here. These jokes are saucy. Moonness says, Yield Tursing, why didn't the skeleton go to the dance? He had nobody to go with. He had no body. He had no body to go with. Ooh, that's a good one. I like that one. Here's one I like. Have you heard the joke? Have you heard the joke about the man who didn't pay for his exorcism? Has anyone heard the joke about the man who didn't pay for his exorcism? He got repossessed. Crickets. Crickets. All right, today, primary goal, we're gonna update camera controls. Right now our camera's static, stays in one spot. Mooniz has been writing us AI stories about, why we should be using Cinemachine. So we're gonna use Cinemachine here. We're gonna try and learn Cinemachine. I did a little bit of opening up. But we want to add in free camera movement, so we want to be able to move the camera around, and I want to also have it so that it will follow you. So like if you're staying still, you can like move the camera around, but if you're not, the camera, like as you move, it'll sort of try and stay behind you, I think. Although that might be, we'll play around with it. We'll play around with it. I think that's going to take the whole day today. I've never done anything, so I'm learning a new system. So I'm trying to keep myself, grounded in reality of how long something actually is going to take. We'll find out. Dramulks, people often say, 15 minutes, and then it takes me 3 hours. So we'll see. We'll see, Dramulks. But if we do happen to finish that up, we're going to start on the audio subsystem. Exactly. Everything takes 15 minutes. Everything takes 15 minutes until you have the captain try, and then it takes days, weeks at a time. All right, we're going to start the audio subsystem as our bonus if we get there. And then bonus number 2, we're going to add boost particle effects. Donnie Does Stuff says, question, what do you feel about using pre-made assets? I think it's a great way to build prototypes. There's nothing wrong with using pre-made assets. The main reason I don't use them is because I often want to turn these into like tutorials and class projects, and then licensing becomes an issue with using pre-made assets. Rooney says, I usually say 15 minutes. That's because Hagen talks over about 2 hours and 40 minutes. Exactly. See, I talk so my brain can process. Yeah, Dramulks, that's exactly right. If you are a solo indie dev, assets will save your life. There's nothing wrong with using assets. One of the best things about Unity is the asset store, in my opinion. That said, you learn more. Not necessarily true. You're likely to learn more if you implement stuff yourself, and there's like a level of how fun that is. I'm solo and Tony says, yeah, I'm solo and modeling is taking too much time, way too much. Yeah, I usually try and get, so I'm not, notice I'm making a game about a marble, so I don't have to do anything. I can put a sphere in there. Drama says, I can't do art to save my life, so that would mean I wouldn't be able to make my game. That's where the asset store comes in. Yeah. you know, so if you're solo, if you're not on a team, or even a small team, it can be super helpful. So how much time do you really want to spend on something? All right, so we're gonna get Cinemachine installed here. Go down to our package manager. You can see I already found it. Another one that's just part of the Unity registry. So clearly Unity's doing the right thing, saying like, hey, this product was cool. Whoever built it, we're gonna buy it off you. We're gonna put it in here and hire you. So built in, not built in, but it's part of the Unity registry. So we're gonna add that in here. Click that install button. And then I got a little bit of documentation open here. I was reading about it, the overview. Yeah. Tani said common Unity, UV mapping is exhausting. Common Unity with W, I'm not sure you want to. Dramok says now Unity needs to hire a guy named Jason Booth to take care of their damn rendering pipeline. And everything will be better. Yield charging, some devs are snobby, but using assets, I say all the tools you can to make your game, no judgment. Exactly. Yield charging, that's exactly. You just got to be careful with licensing stuff. They can be expensive as part of it, but you can be like a purist. Oh, W means win. Common Unity win. Gotcha. Sorry, I'm a simpleton. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but I'm kind of a simple person. I don't know all of these fancy one-letter acronyms. I'm all for using that. Make your life easier, especially if you're just exploring to have fun. That said, in my class, I make students make a lot of their own code stuff, right? And then we'll explore these things. Jackie's back. Jackie, thank you for being here today. Happy Friday. How are you? How are you, Jackie? Jamok says, also, guys, check Unity's publisher sale. They give free stuff, and now they are giving away an awesome medieval village pack. Ooh. That sounds awesome, Dramok. You got a link? Love a link. When it says using pre-made assets is great if you want to make a commercial game, and some people would notice, though. Yeah. So, some people notice that sort of thing. Who cares all that much? Jackie says, I'm great. How are you, Captain? Happy Friday as well. I'm doing beautiful. Today's a beautiful morning. It's a beautiful Friday morning. I'm having a wonderful day. Tani says, pre-made assets for prototyping, and once you have the level designs, make your own. It's what I'm going to do. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Dramolks, thank you for the share of the Asset Store Publisher Sale. Lots of good stuff. Stop asking for my cookies. They trick you. They call them cookies, so you're like, ooh, those sound delicious. Those sound sweet. But really, they're trapping you. They're trapping you. That looks... Oh, I already... It's funny. I already own this. I think I might have paid for this already. The Astrofish game assets are pretty awesome, actually. They're some of my favorites. Yeah, I'm looking at this going like, oh, I actually already got this. It's good, so I can't help myself. And here's the thing, I've like never used it, but it's fun. I like doing it and just like playing around with this stuff a little bit. This back, anyway. All right, we got Cinemachine installed. See, look how long this is taking me. Moonies, you're right. I can't help. I was gonna say I'm a chatty Kathy, but that feels rude to anyone named Kathy. So I'm a chatty Chatterson. There we go. Chat-erson, not a Chad-erson. A chatty Chat-erson. I'm a chatty captain. There you go, Dramolks. Even better. All right, what are we doing? And Jackie, thank you so much for asking how I'm doing. It's so kind of you. Dillinger, welcome back, my friend. Ahoy! I love how people have taken the captain and turned it into like, I guess I should just embrace the fact that people think I'm a captain of a ship, not a superhero. I was going for like Captain America, Captain Marvel, Captain Coder, but I guess I'm more of an, I should have gone with, Admiral Education was an alternative name. Instead of Captain Coder, I was almost Admiral Education, but Captain Coder felt more specific. I didn't want to be too broad. Dillinger, I should have a cape. Yes, I should have a cape. Scourge of the Code. There's some good suggestions in here. Yeah, Admiral Education, Admiral EDU. So I worked on when I was in. Well, I'm not gonna give too much. I don't want to give too much information away. There was a product I worked on called Admiral Education. Um, Admiral EDU, Brown University. Then we can find it here. Captain Teach. I haven't played it yet, Taurus King. It looks hilarious. I promise we're gonna save it to the end of stream though. I want to get something done. Oh, maybe not. I haven't started anything yet, so let's check it out. All right. Yield Tires King shared a game called Bums and Rockets. Bums and Rockets. Just the name itself, it sounds like my type of game. All right. There's no look how sketchy this Taurus King. This page is the sketchiest page I've ever been to. There's just a big run me button, and there's nothing, and it's bums and rockets. Come on, come on! You really expect someone to click this run button? That's terrifying. All right, we're gonna do it. All right, here we go. I take no responsibility for any psychological damage this causes. Oh my goodness. Player 1 turn. I roll my die. Oh, it's like shoots and ladders. Shoots. So the rockets take you up, and the oh no, oh no. This totally feels. You should make some of those mobile ads for this game. That's like, you know, I can't beat this one level. This level's so hard. Oh my goodness. This is the most. This is beautiful. This is beautiful, my friend. It reminds me of. So I had my students implement a word guessing game. Right, I felt like the name Hangman was a little bit too. Hangman is what we called it when I grew up, but that game, the name Hangman feels a little bit too brutal. So we started I called it Snowman. All right, so if you got to guess the word, so you can do letter guessing, you got to guess the word before the snowman melts. Instead of before the man gets hung, which is a lot more horrific. This is great, my friend. Taurus King, thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing. I love it. I love it so much. All right. So we're gonna try and do something now. We're gonna try and do a thing. But our goals today. Our goals. Not what I want. Add a camera. All right. So we got Cinemachine, and I was kind of looking here. All right. The overview. Add like virtual cameras. Getting started. Follow the steps in this section to install Cinemachine. Alright, so I've installed Cinemachine. Is a free package. After installing Cinemachine, a new Cinemachine folder appears in the Gizmos folder of your project window. Did I not install it? Gizmos. Tools. Harrison, I've been using Unity for about 6 months, so it was just something to do while learning. Connie, I just got the $80 packs for free. Let's go. Exactly. All right, did I actually install it? Hang on. I did. Okay, so it is installed. Maybe I should look at some of the samples. Okay, so I have it installed. There it is, component, Cinemachine. Okay, there's our Cinemachine menu. That's okay. Yeah, so Muna says it's changed a little from what the documentation has. That's all right. We're gonna figure it out. All right, so we got that. So setting up virtual cameras. Create a Cinemachine virtual camera. Celeste, fantastic platformer. All right, CMV Cam 1. Use the follow property. All right, so we're gonna follow the player. We're gonna look at the player. All right. What do I do here? Unicoder says we need coyote time for jump also then. I'm missing some context. I'm so sorry to Unicoder. In Unity, adds a new game object with a Cinemachine virtual component. In Unity menu, choose create virtual mechanic. This adds a new game object with a Cinemachine virtual camera component. If necessary, Unity also adds Cinemachine brain to Unity camera game object for you. So there's a, oh, look at that. The little brain icon there. Brains. Brains. Is that, did that, all right, let's see. Did that do anything? Tani says, coyote time means, I think if you press jump earlier than you touch a platform or something, it will still jump. Unicris says, I guess Celeste introduced it. Player has few frames time to jump even when they already pass edge. Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, I've seen that. Okay, so like, let's see. I think the controls are going to be super, oh, boy-oh. Yo. All right. Let's maybe move it so it's higher somehow. Aim. Okay, so we're gonna play around with it. The default settings are, it's trying to be like over it. Body, follow offset. Let's set it up so we're above it. Okay, there we go. That should help. It's so aim. Okay. Try the orbital camera. Okay. Try an orbital camera. We're gonna, it seems to be doing sort of what we want, but being like overly aggressive about how like it switches the camera angle. It's like a little bit overly aggressive as we move around. Try the orbital camera. I don't. Is that just, so where is that saying? Tani, help me out here. Tell me where I find orbital. 3D person, orbital transposer. All right, let's try that. And maybe it's because I shouldn't do look at as well. Let me switch this to none real quick. See if that helps at all. That does not help. All right, so we definitely want both of those. Follow offset. Bind lock to target with world. Lock to target on a sign. Lock to target with world up. Okay. It's just aggressive. It's really, really aggressive. It's trying, you know, like I said, it's trying to sort of, I'm not sure exactly what it is. Speed. Oh, it's like following my mouse. Okay. So it follows my mouse as well, which might, it moves in orbit around the player. Do nothing is not what we want. Third person follower. Framing trend. Oh, I have this on the wrong thing. All right, let's hang on. Let's stop. All right, we're gonna keep fiddling with. We gotta play with these bits. We gotta fiddle with the bits till we get the bits working the way we want. It's interesting to watch it try and figure out where it wants the camera to be positioned. Um, I don't. So the way it's like flipping around is fascinating to me. It wants to. So I think it's related to trying to follow my mouse, which I'm not sure. Um, Lock to target world. Lock to target. Try just lock to target. Ooh. Oh boy. Oh boy. So I think we do want world up. Simple follow with world up. Let's try simple follow with world up. And see if that helps. Yeah, I think we want world up. We want world up. So now the my direction. I think simple follow might be what we want. It's just now the directions. Transposer, simple world with follow up. And it could also be related to the aim, right? The aim. All right, let's see if it. Okay, I think simple is the right way to go. Now the way the controls are just awkward because when we try and move, it's relative to the original, the game space rather than the direction of the camera. We want it to be that. All right, when I press forward, it's hard to tell. When I press forward, I want it to be sort of forward relative to the camera. So we need to figure that out a little bit. But I think simple follow, world up is what we want. Aim, we also might want to do some hard look at. Group composer, POV. We're gonna keep that this way for now. All right, so I think there's just so the up and down kind of work right now. But as the camera comes down here, notice how the angle has changed. And so now up is still going this direction towards there, rather than the direction the camera is facing. And so that is the hard part in my mind, is okay, how do we get that to follow and track the player? How aggressive the camera tries to maintain the offset and the y-axis. Small numbers are more responsive. Okay. So we sort of need to understand the camera's looking and do some math, I think, to translate it. Unless someone has a better suggestion for me. If there's some built-in thing to make it so that it's not relative to the camera, or so if there's a built-in thing so I don't have to do math, that would be good. That would be good. It'd be easier. But basically, I'm going to take the camera and say, okay, when the player presses forward, we're going to essentially, I think, multiply what the player has in the direction that the camera's facing for essentially the X and Y of the main camera, I think, is what we're going to do. Because the main camera, we watch its rotation. Mike says, happy day coding. It is Friday, my friend. Happy Friday. Thank you for popping in. Thank you for popping in. It's always so nice to see you. But yeah, as I move, we need to get this sort of angle, and it's based on that. We need to use this as our translation. All right, so the user input, when they press when they press up, it needs to be multiplied, I think, by the rotation of the main camera. So we sort of need to get those as inputs. So we're gonna try it. We're gonna see if we can use that to get our relatives. The thing is, the angle is gonna be interesting. I think we need to translate it to these are degrees and not radians. So I think you got to do something with radians. I don't know. I don't remember exactly my trigonometry associated, but there's some trig we got to do. I'm hoping there's some easy maths. Easy maths. All right. So let us try. in our... Oh, I did do a thing. I did refactor a bunch of... All right, so I did this off stream last night. I was going, how should I do this? Real quick, let's do a little bit of a code review here of what we have. I did refactor our marble controls and separate it out. Remember yesterday, if you were here yesterday, you saw my code was getting a little bit complex. So I've abstracted each of the marbles controls into its own thing. So I have a marble controls, and this is our marbles inputs, and it lets us turn them on and off. I have my marble movement controls are now very simple. It says I have marble controls in my marble entity. Rave, fresh coffee, let's go. I agree. Coffee's good. Good morning, Rave. Happy to have you here. Real quick, we got a couple of shout outs I got to give out. Rave is making a space trucking game. Be sure to give Rave some love. I'm gonna give Mooniz a shout out here in a minute. Mooniz, I think you might be my biggest fan. You're at least #1 on the leaderboard. We gotta give Mooniz a shout out too. Rave is making a 3D space trucker game, which just looks awesome. I'm learning so much. Last night, Rave was doing. I'm learning a lot about Blender, and it's getting me excited. This summer, I want to learn more about Blender. He was showing us how to take a model and generate normals. So normally you have like a model that has lots of geometry in it, and turning them into normal maps. And so then your geometry just becomes, you just have a very, very simple geometry, and you apply a normal map to it, and your shaders essentially do all the work. It was beautiful. So you got to check out Rave's stuff if you're at all interested in 3D art. And his game looks amazing. It's essentially it's making fun of Star Citizen a little bit, but Rave's gonna get his game out before Star Citizen, which is awesome. But Mooniz, I'm gonna give you a shout out here in a moment too, once the cooldown happens. We gotta check out Mooniz as well. Mooniz is doing a Metroidvania library, essentially, a base. Dramulk says, I want to be a space trucker. Doesn't everyone want to be a space trucker? Mooniz likes to make stuff. Let's see if it'll let me do a shout out here. I think the reason there's a cooldown is because the little timer at the top. But yeah, it's a little bit annoying how long the cooldown is on it. I guess the cooldown I think is too long. I think the cooldown is too long is what I will say. I gotta get some of these here. I wish they would queue. That would be good. Trammel says something like, oh, I was 1 second before shout out. All right, there we go. Everyone also give Mooniz a follow. Mooniz streams, I think, almost daily in the afternoon, and then on the weekend has some longer streams. Go check out Mooniz. Mooniz is a real game developer. He knows a lot more about Unity than I do. He's been teaching me so much about Unity. Please give him a follow too. Building some really, really cool systems. Mooniz, I try to stream every day. I'm not climbing in the evening. That makes sense. Mooniz is a climber, rock climbing, rock gymming. Apparently I can't move this anymore. There it goes. Yield Tarsky asked me, how long have I been using Unity? I've only been using it seriously for about a month, a little bit over a month. So I started at the end of December. That said, I had like hacked a couple things, like a handful of games in Unity over the years, but nothing serious. Oh, Yield Tarsky was asking Mooniz. Yeah, Mooniz's been using it forever. Mooniz, since the dawn of time, Mooniz has been using Unity. But yeah, okay, so we're gonna talk about our controls here. So our marble controls is separated. This is our marble movement now is one thing. Tani's been using it for about 4-ish years. Look, it takes a lot. Unity, I'm teaching an intro to Unity class, and I told my students, in this class, you're gonna learn about 1% of Unity. This class, I said, the intro to Unity is a bad name for this class. It could be called Scratching the Surface of Unity, because there's just so much. There's so much. And more than anything, the class is an object-oriented programming class disguised as a Unity class. But there's so much. And it probably is going to evolve so fast that you'll never be able to keep up with it all anyway. It's about what you use for your project. What are you using for your project? And how are you taking advantage of all of the cool things and all the powerful things that Unity provides? So for example, Cinemachine, how are you taking advantage of it? ELTAR says, nice, only been using it about 1.5 years with no coding or programming background, so it takes me a while to get to know. Yeah, it does take a while. That said, I have a really, I would say, a strong programming background. I've been programming for many years. And so I can apply that in sometimes really bad ways to just like force it to do the things I want. Whereas there's like nice things like Cinemachine. Donnie says, let's just say I downloaded Unity when I didn't even know what a C# was. And Bracky saved you. Well, I'm glad you've been saved. I'm glad you've been saved. Welcome to the Church of Unity. The Church of Unity saved me. Okay. Here we go. Marble movement. The movement controller, I think, needs to have a reference to our camera so that it can our input direction can be translated into that using the camera's direction. Okay. So I'm gonna put, and I don't know if this is the right thing. For now, I'm gonna do this. Public camera, main camera. All right, we're gonna do this for now. We'll make this a get private set serialized field for now. So the camera's gonna help us translate the position. Everyone that's using like direction is gonna be using this input direction, the marble movement. And so the input direction is going to be the correct direction in world space. Yield Tarskins and Brackies is good, but CodeMonkey is good and still uploading new videos. I've heard really good things about CodeMonkey. I actually am not a huge fan of Brackies. Mooney says, not to do shameless self-promotion, but I hope I will be decent YouTuber. I'm going to start uploading YouTube tutorials soon. Yes. I've been working on some YouTube's the Unity tutorials myself, so those are coming soon. I'm hoping to have them out, having my first tutorial out for Unity on YouTube this month. So I've been writing some scripts, putting stuff together. So I'm going to be doing the Skydriver game. I'm going to be turning into a YouTube tutorial series soon, and I'm not tutorial series. Let me take it back. Not a tutorial series, a project, and there will be videos to support it on YouTube. So not a tutorial, it's not going to give you everything, but it's going to give you the things that you need to get you there. Because I actually think tutorials are kind of terrible. You don't learn enough from tutorials. I might ask, Dramulk says, I might ask you a few questions about streaming also. I want to get started with that myself. I'm not sure if you're referring, talking to Moon. So you can ask me about streaming too, but I tell you, I've only been streaming since December, so I'm super new to it. As you can probably tell, my setup isn't great, so I apologize for being not so great streamer. Apparently I'm pretty fun to watch. But Will Marquez Dev, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome aboard. Happy Friday, everybody. So welcome aboard. William Marquez. Let me know if I'm Will Marquez. Sorry, I'm getting over the top. Sorry about the pronunciation. If I'm pronouncing wrong, please correct me. Is it okay if I just call you Will? But happy Friday. Welcome aboard. Happy to have you here. How was your stream? What were you working on? And let me know if I'm pronouncing that. Nahami, welcome aboard as well. Welcome to Captain Coder's Academy. Just so everyone, since you're new here, anyone who's new here, I am a computer science teacher, computer programming teacher. That's my job. I just, I'm a full-time teacher at this point. I got a new contract this year, super excited. So if you have any questions I love answering questions, and I also love backseat coders. I get better as a programmer with backseat coders. So I know a lot of streamers don't like backseat coding, but please let me know. Let me know what you think. I'm not always going to take your suggestions, but I'm always trying to improve and grow. Sometimes the chat gets away from me. Tani, I'm so sorry your stream died. I'm so sorry your internet died. That sounds frustrating. And Mike, thank you so much for the confidence. Thank you so much for the confidence. I appreciate it. Okay, here we go. All right. Oh, I was gonna attach. All right, so I had my player. We are trying to get our camera controls working. All right. So we've made the marble game. We've been working on a marble game, and we're trying to get the camera to move a little bit better. So right now the controls get super awkward because the controls are based on the world space, not how the camera's looking. So I'm like, this is a struggle to get the marble to work in here. But we made a game where we have a marble, we can jump, and then we also got some boosting. You can go fast, Sonic style, and your goal is to get to this end platform. Did not do so well. All right, so now our camera's all out of alignment. So now the controls are basically impossible. If I press up, that's the direction up goes right now. So what I'm working on right now is making it so that the camera controls are relative to the way the camera's facing to make it a little bit easier for the player. And I'm not 100% sure how to do it, but in my marble movement, my plan here is my marble movement controller. I'm planning to add in my camera here. Serialized, I need to do field, serialized field. So I'm gonna make it my movement controller aware of the camera so it can say, okay, what direction am I facing, and apply some mathematics to translate that properly. And I'm not 100% sure. I'm gonna have to look up the trigonometry for it, I believe. But I'm not 100% sure. We might get lucky and say, okay, well, it's actually based off the camera movement. Oh, come on, speaking of camera movement, my auto camera, come on back down. There we go. Nahami says, I'm not much of a coder. It's just a hobby. Well, you're in the right place. You're in the right place. I'm not much of a game developer. Let me say that. I don't consider myself a game developer. But I'm a hobbyist. I'm being required is a strong word. My students have asked me to teach a Unity class. So I'm learning Unity so that way I can be more competent in it. But I do have a lot of coding background. So don't hesitate to ask. Don't hesitate to ask. Tani says, I'm so flabbergasted seeing someone code without using Stack Overflow every hour. Well, that's because I've used probably 100,000 hours of Stack Overflow. And so I'm like, it's just downloaded into my brain at this point. Muna says, you could take the camera forward and set Y to 0 and then have the camera direction for movement. Yeah, so that's sort of what I say. I want to get the direction the camera's facing, remove the Y, and make it sort of that's going to be our 1, right? So that will be forward, and we'll multiply everything by that. That's sort of my plan. Yeah, exactly. Normalize it to 1, so the camera's forward becomes 1. Not 1, it becomes our 1, right? So it might be slightly off from 1, but it becomes the thing that we're multiplying by. Whew. All right, main camera here. There it is. All right, so I'm gonna attach the camera like this, and we might do something a little bit better later because I'm not anyway, we're gonna find the camera here, and when we do handle movement now, rather than just taking the input direction vector, this is sort of our raw. So this is our vector 2 raw input. This is our raw input here. And then we need to get our cameras forward. So we have our main camera dot transform dot forward. So this is gonna give us the vector of the direction it's pointing. This is a vector 3 though. So this is our camera forward. All right. we're going to drop the Y. So otherwise it's going to apply the direction downward. Although I'm not 100% sure that's a big deal. Because it's essentially we're going to multiply it. We need to translate sort of to a vector 2 with X and Y and multiply that in there. So camera forward, so we'll do vector to camera, camera forward, normal. All right, the forward should be Z, I believe. So that's gonna, we do a new vector. So new vector 2 where the X is actually our Z, I believe. Is that right? Let's look here. This is our rotation torque. In our boost, was it just normal XY? Yeah, so I think our Y becomes a Z. Or our Z becomes Y, I think is what it is. So camera forward dot X. And then camera forward dot Y. So I think this is like the direction the camera's facing if we were to translate it to an X and a Y. I think, and we can, if we look at our scene, hang on, let's look at our scene to see if that's true. This is how we can check it out. All right, so if we go to our scene and we select our camera, we can see the direction our camera is sort of pointing forward. So this is the, well, let me modify that. So our Y is up and down. Red is our X. Yeah, so that's our left and right. And our Z is our forward and backwards. Code Red Game, happy Friday, my friend. It's going really well. Going beautiful. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Won't you be my neighbor? We are working on getting our camera movement working. So X is our, hang on, Z is our Y because it's forward and backwards, and X is our left and right. All right, so we're gonna try that. And we multiply it. I'm pretty sure our input direction becomes our raw input times our forward normal. Okay, so it's whatever the player was doing, and then we multiply it. So the following seems to be working. We just gotta get our controls working, Code Red. So Code Red, let me show you. Tani, I highly encourage you to do it. At the very least, do some recording of it and go back. So it's been really cool to be able to go back and watch. Well, how the heck did I do that? Because you don't always remember exactly what you did. And just the process, how you're doing it is so important. And don't be afraid of people critiquing you. People critiquing you makes you better. You got to take it with a grain of salt. So if someone says something that bothers you, that's fine. But allow, you know, and this is just maybe me. Maybe I have a super thick skin. But I love when people critique what I'm doing because it makes me, you know, say, okay, well, why am I doing it some way that I'm doing it? Is there a better way? Code Red says, followed you just in case you start streaming. All right, so now everything's broken. All right, so clearly incorrect. Cam blue axis was in world space. Press X to use local axes for the scene. Top left, top right rotation. Oh, yeah. All right, so clearly I'm incorrect. Thank you, Unity Coder. Yeah. So I want to take, well, this is interesting. Code Red, let me show you the issue, and maybe someone know how to do it better than I do. All right, so the issue that I'm trying to fix, and I knew this was gonna be a problem, but the thing I'm trying to fix is I want my inputs to always be relative to the camera. So if I press right now, right is sort of in world space this way, left is in world space this way, up is world space that way, and down is world space this way. So it works fine, but as soon as our camera starts rotating, everything gets awkward, as you'd expect. All right, so now this is now, when I press the right, I would expect my ball to roll to the right this way. But it doesn't because it's in world space. So we need to translate it to sort of be relative. So what's my true input direction? There's a rotation I need to apply to it. So it's not quite forward. Yeah, so it's, if I were to, so I think what I can do, all right, Moon is, I think what I can do, everyone, so there's just some math, there's some trigonometry. All right, Unity Coder, thank you so much for pointing out that this isn't the actual X and Y. So thank you very much for that. I'm gonna give you some points for that, because that would have taken me a while to figure out. So 50 points to you, Unity Coder, thank you so much for that. So I'm pretty sure what I want to do is I want to take the camera's direction and rotate it. I want to take this sort of camera direction, rotate it back to, so it's relative to world space, I think, and then apply the forward. Let me see if that makes sense. Let me go riding off the edge here to get my camera to get all wacky. All right, so my camera's a little wacky now. I need a hard stop button. There we go. So now if I come to my scene, I go to my camera. If I were to rotate this Z up, so I want to rotate it so it's flat. So I want to set all of these essentially to 0, I believe. And then that becomes a translation. Retro Nick 84, welcome aboard, my friend. Happy Friday, happy to have you here. As everyone here knows, and you might be new, do not hesitate to ask questions. I love questions. Try and boozle me, but please do not bamboozle me. One boozle is okay, but no hard bamboozles. Darkman, thank you for coming back. Happy Friday. How are you today, Darkman? So nice to see you. Yeah, so I think what I want to do is I want to take this. I think if I were to take this and like rotate it up, it's sort of like if it was flat. That's my Z and my X become the right translations. Moon says get camera world rotation as Euler angle and remove Y, and you have the direction. Since it's torque, it would rotate around this axis, so you need to rotate it 90 degrees. We are using a new input system, Tani. Yes, we are. Which is it's been really fabulous. I've been loving it. It's more event based. So you don't have to do your own events. It's not like if, you don't have to add an if in your update to check if whether or not something clicked. Corfliss, hello sir, such a happy Friday, or fried, yeah. I think that's so Tani, that's sort of what we're trying to do. All right, so Mooniz is suggesting get camera world rotation as an Euler angle, and remove Y. And you have the direction. Okay. All right, we're gonna do this. All right. So we're gonna come in here. We get our main camera dot transform dot Euler angles. Does this give me the world space, or it's attached to the object dot world? Does this give me the world? I'm not sure. Euler angles. All right, so it'd be vector 3 camera angles. Camera angles. Why not use the parent? We're applying the torque to a child and player, not the game object itself. I want to get the translation. You could be right. So there's more than just applying torque. Dot rotation. All right. Dot rotation. Dot Euler angles. That probably angles. All right. Camera angles equals dot Y equals 0. Can I do that? Okay. So we remove the Y. So Sorry, I'm gonna lose some of the chat here, so I apologize. I'm scrolling back to try and read some stuff, so I apologize if I'm losing chat. Let me focus just for a moment. Just for a moment. Since it's torque, it would be rotate. Keeps jumping back down. Get camera world as Euler angles. Remember, and you have the direction. Since it's torque, it would rotate around the axis, so you would need to rotate 90 degrees. If I remove the Y, I'm curious here. All right, so let's do, I'm gonna do a debug.log. I'm gonna say camera angles. I just wanna see what this looks like, what this value is compared to my raw input. Just so I can understand it a little bit better. Camera angle. Because is it supposed to be multiplied? I'm not sure. Raw input. All right. Now normalize cameras and the. All right, normalize. Darkness. I really enjoy watching it and develop my game. I'm glad you enjoy it. I'm glad you enjoy it. Now normalize camera angles, then rotate the vector. Quaternion. All right, so I got to when you say normalize, is there just a normalize? Yeah, normalized. Oh, before, hang on, before I do that. So forward, camera angles dot y equals 0. Camera angles equals camera angles dot normalized. And then we're going to quaternion dot angle axis minus 90 vector up times camera angles. You're saying this is gonna give us a thing? All right, this will be a vector 3 rotated. And you're saying this will give me the so now I need to multiply that by my raw input. All right, so I'm really curious what camera, oh, not camera 4, this should be rotated, rotated raw input. Okay, so let me see if I can get caught up here. Darkman, I do appreciate you saying you enjoy watching it. I'm so happy to have you here. Now normalize. Tawny says, I lost you at quaternions. Quaternion is just how we do math with rotations. It's like, it's just a fancy word for the type of math to calculate rotations. From what I've seen, isn't it just a sphere with coordinates on it to calculate rotation? You know when you rotate around it, Moona says, you know when you rotate around an axis, right? If you rotate around Y, you aren't rotating upwards, you're rotating on the sides. Same thing happens. Yes, so we need to figure out the axis to rotate around, and that is not the camera's forward. Thanks for the knowledge. Thanks for the knowledge. Let's see, the rotate, oh, okay, I think I see. We're moving it up 90 degrees. Why are we rotating? Creates a rotation which rotates angle degrees around an axis. Why are we rotating up 90 degrees? I don't quite understand that. Shouldn't it be rotating up based on the angle of the camera's Y so that it's level? So I want to make sure Moon is, why are we rotating by 90 degrees? Camera's Y is 0. So always level. Let's check it out. Let's see. All right. So if this works, let's see how we feel about it. So now I have no movement. Our raw input, our camera angle Oh, we need to translate that to a vector 2 now, don't we? All right. This is interesting that my camera angle is 001. Let me think about this. I don't know if this this doesn't feel quite right because my X and Y I mean, one second. I want to look at before, all right, camera angles. Why am I not using the Cinemachine? I am using Cinemachine camera. So the problem I'm trying to solve, Darkman, is the controls need to be relative to the direction the camera is facing rather than world space. So it's relative to the camera's direction. The camera angle is 100, which doesn't make sense to me. If I'm on the camera, my rotation is the camera's, what I want to understand is the forward. 1.0 on the X is so the fact that we're multiplying by a 0 feels weird to me. I gotta think about this real quick. This might be something that is all right. There's some trigonometry here that I don't think is making sense. MMO Pug says, crazy morning, you've been lurking off and on. Don't people know it's no change Friday? You'd think it was a Monday. Darkman, yes, I got the cinema package from the package manager. That's exactly where I got it from. I really, really like it as far as the camera follower. So if I were to change this back here, input direction just equals the raw input. Let's take a look at it. I really, really like how simple it was to get going. The default settings weren't quite what I wanted, which was fine. So if the thing is, when I press right, here's what I'm gonna do. To help me debug it, I can make it, yeah. So I don't know. I want to take, there's some stuff I haven't. Congratulations, Tiny, on Windows 10. You used it before in Limit Height? Cool, glad to hear. It's always one which is weird. Yeah, so something's not quite right. I want to understand the camera's forward, right? So I think we need to say, okay, well, what's the camera's forward? I wonder if, I'm thinking here. I'm wondering if we can cheat a little bit. I'm wondering if we can cheat. What if I made a camera? All right, so I'm wondering if we can cheat. What if we made an object? Oh no, that won't quite work. Never mind. I was gonna say, like, put something behind, so like the camera's always following it, and then you can just be like, oh, when I press forward, it applies in the camera's forward. That's not quite what we want. Yeah, so we're not using the camera's forward, which is weird. Yeah, so the camera's forward is what we're doing. Rave says, Russian roulette engage. I'm upgrading to the new version of, the new long-term release update. It should be okay. Usually when you update and you have the same, 2021, the idea is if you especially with 2021.3, essentially if you upgrade, you should be mostly safe. Okay, so that was my original thought, was that we should use the camera's forward. as well. And so I was curious where you were going with the rotation thing there. So we have the cameras forward, and then we remove the Y, and then we normalize it, and then we rotate it. Okay, this makes more sense to me. This makes more sense to me. All right, let's see what that looks like. Just from the number standpoint, I want to see the numbers need to make more sense before I can apply it. And maybe what I should do is add a debug. Hang on. I'm gonna add in here I'm gonna add an array that's like will give us the directions and stuff coming off of it. Tani was talking about using the Ford. I was using the Ford originally, and then I got a little bit confused. We might have to remove X and Y, and use main camera dot right to normalize them. Ooh, main camera dot right. That might make more sense. That might make more sense. I'm not 100% sure. All right, so but I want to add in, yeah, main camera dot right. Listening to Tani is the better dev. Main camera dot right makes sense to me. Rather than main camera dot forward for normalizing. Let's see what that looks like. And I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna put in no need, it was a fluke. It was a fluke. Tani says it was a fluke. No need to remove the Y then since we're not rolling. Yeah. I'm gonna add an array. All right, so if I do the following, debug.drawArray, and I'm gonna put it on our transform.position. It starts in our center of our ball, and let's do it on camera angles. I want to see what this looks like times 3. Exactly. I think that's a color dot blue for 5. All right, so I'm gonna tap it, so we should be able to see that ray real quick. The Aziz, torque Aziz. No, not an axis, an Aziz. Exactly. Let's see what that looks like. This feels good. This feels like it's about to be good. We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out whether it is good or if it just feels good. Why is it not? There it goes. Yeah, so check that out. Our right just works now. So like the ray of it coming out to the right. Oh, Tani. Nice work, my friend. Add points. 100 points to Tani. That's a good save. That saved me a ton of time. It's gonna save me a ton of time. All right. Feels great, man. It feels good to have you. This is one of the things I love about streaming. One of the things I love about streaming is I don't always know exactly what I'm supposed to do or how to do it, and so this worked out really, really well. All right, so the angle itself, when I press right, I'm having a Brad Bain day. Will not do more math today. So the idea is, all right, the camera angle, negative 53.85. That's to the right. So when I just get to do it? All I have to do is multiply it by our camera angles. Will that fix it? We might have to translate it a little bit. We might have to invert the X and Y or something. This is also a vector 3. No, this isn't quite what I do, because this is a vector 3, and I need those to be my X and Ys. Hang on. I need it to be a vector 2. Vector 2 in 2D. And we'll hopefully get a better name. Yeah, so I'm not even using this. I was just printing stuff out. In 2D would be a new vector 2, and the X transform camera angles dot X, and camera angles.z. I think these might need to be swapped in 2D. Let's try it. Let's try it. Let's give it a go. We're gonna roll. We are a marble. Crazy marble. Marble. Did I multiply it in there? I did. Alright. My left and right seem to be working. My forward and backward are not working. Let's see if we can get my camera to get a little bit messed up here. No, it's still... The translation's not quite right for some reason. Z and X? Let's give that a shot. And let me... Alright, one more thing. I'm gonna see what the 2D looks like here. In 2D. Into the abyss. Alright. Raw input times that. Something feels maybe not quite right. Alright, Rave. Rave just upgraded and says, and everything open, no blend file, prefab messed up, everything in the project was fine. Whew! That's always a relief, right? Alright, our forward and our backwards worked. Our 2D, we're getting a 0 there. Why is the camera angle suddenly 0? Hang on. Camera angles. Hang on, something's gone wrong. Camera angles. My left and right don't work. My forward and back work. Fun fact, camera is already normalized. Alright. Why? So you don't have to normalize it again. It should be... Shouldn't be causing any issues, though. Camera angle... Hang on. Now it's -1. So the up and down are working. Why? The left and right, for some reason, is... Why is the X and Y 0? Alright, can I get my camera? If it's 0, I still want to... I shouldn't be multiplying by 0. Why? Right, hang on, let me look here. Well, sides won't work since the axis is pointing in that direction. Forward and back seem to be working now, which so we did have to rotate. We had to change those. Actually, is it? All right, I'm gonna try something crazy. One sec. Unity Code says, in one project, we used WoW RPG camera plugin for third-person fall. Use the Vector 3 project on plane to get flat direction and then quaternion look rotation to get a relative forward. Ooh, that's an interesting thought. That might be what we want to do then. Oh, project on plane. Now nothing's working. Hang on. Left, right needs to rotate around forward. Forward and back needs to rotate around right. Hang on. All right, let's see. Am I still feeling... No. This is... Left and right needs to rotate around forward. Oh, so you're saying I need to get... in addition to right, I need to get, okay, so I need to get, okay, let's do this. This will be our camera right angles. And then I need to get a camera forward angles as well. I think you're saying this, Moonness. And then my camera right angle, camera forward angle. Like that. And then my new 2D, it's based on forward and camera forward angles dot Z. Let's see if that, I think that makes sense, Moonness. Quaternion, although Unity Coder, so like the forward doesn't quite make sense because all right, so let's see if this continues to feel good. Oh, I think, no, not quite. Something's not right here. Probably doing it a smarter way. I kind of like, so in my mind, the way Unity Coder is saying is the project on plane to get a flat person. Is that a thing that's just built into project? No, that's part of the plugin, I think, Unity Coder. Keep fiddling around with this. Vector 3. Project on plane. Projects a vector onto a plane defined by a normal orthogonal plane. Interesting. For third person, it uses vector 3 project on plane to get a flat direction for camera forward and then quaternion rotate. Let me look at these outputs again real quick. I think I might need to actually just draw this out. Tony says, I'm sorry I got carried away with setting up my laptop for Windows 10 and missed everything. That's okay. We're still figuring it out. I think for our left and right, this makes sense. One second. This forward, I think, is wrong. I think the forward needs to be, because it's where the camera's pointing forward. And so it's like that one's at an angle. That one I think needs to be rotated. So let's draw a line for that one as well. So I think our left and right is correct, but camera forward angles. Let's do this one as yellow. I think this one is incorrect. So forward angles, we're gonna look at it real quick. I think if we were to look at it, it's wrong because it is not pointing in the actual, we press forward. Yeah, it's not actually like going forward. If we were to pause and look at this in the scene, they're going down. It needs to be going up. So it's not level. Yeah. So camera forward, if we remove the Y. Okay. So camera forward angles dot Y equals 0. And then we do have to do a normal. All right, so now it's level. Darkman, no worry on the lost connection. Welcome back. Welcome back. We all lose connection sometimes. But I'm happy you're back. You're connected, and the world is happy you're here with us. Camera forward angles got normalized. Like this. And let's see if that works. It doesn't. Exactly. And also you have a line from ball A to cam B. If A to Y, would that be flat? Yeah, it doesn't. Exactly. Ooh, there's a dot normalize. Oh, okay. Is that more performant? We're still working on it. So I am MMO Pug. Yes, I am doing an awful lot of work here. So this is, I could be doing it wrong. So the question, MMO Pug, is I want my user inputs to be relative to the camera facing, right? So if there's an easy way to do that with Cinemachine, I would love to know. So like that was the thing, is like, I don't know. We're still working on it, Dark Man. Okay, so let's try camera forward angles dot normalize like this. But yes, MMO Pug, I'm doing so much extra work here. I feel like there has to be a better way. Yeah, feel free, Darkman. Feel free to post anything you'd want me to check out on Discord. So this is my forward, my back. So the translation is still kind of awkward. So when I go, I have the forward, and so this looks correct, but the controls still aren't right. There's something wrong going on with the multiplication. So when I press forward, I might just have them swapped. I think I have them swapped. I think this should be, and they might need to be inverted as well. The lines were drawn in the way I want. It's just forward correct, pause. I can't type today. I think so the way the lines are showing up on the screen look correct now. My debug lines. Okay. All right. I think we got it. Hang on. Oh, I need a button that lets me stop. All right. Let me... No, something's not quite right. All right, so let's see. Camera forward angle. Oh, interesting. Our camera forward angle and right angles. Tony says, can you please catch me up on what I missed? Yeah, so we have this projecting our forward, so Y, our camera looks good here, but this yellow line is our forward angle, and this blue line is our right angle. I think actually, I shouldn't just be setting it to the Z and the X. This is incorrect. Do I need to be multiplying all of these together? So the lines look correct. So if I'm pressing right, this is like the forward that I want to do to that. And if I'm pressing right, this is correct. If I'm pressing forward, this is correct. And then I have my actual raw input of 1. And so if I'm pressing forward, it's almost like I need to pull out this and multiply it in 3D space, then my input direction. It's almost like I need to translate my input. This 1 is saying go forward, so that means I need 100% of this. If I was pressing right, all right, so when I press right, let's clear this real quick. I'm gonna press right. So when I press right, my raw input, this is my right axis. So this is me going right and left. that needs to be multiplied into my right angle, I believe. And then if I press up, I believe it's going to be my y-axis up and down. So if I press up, I get 1 here. All right, so my forward angle needs to be multiplied by that. So it's not actually, is this correct? Let's see. Let's get all the camera in a weird spot again. So yeah, I shouldn't be taking just my X and my Y. It's a combination of these things. Okay. So I'm still trying to catch up myself, Tani. I'm sorry, I'm still trying to catch up. My brain's trying to catch up itself. All right, so we're gonna call this forward 2D, and this is our camera forward Z, X, and Z, vector to right 2D, camera right angles dot X and camera right angles dot Z, and we multiply them all. Forward 2D. Thumbert Games, so happy to have you here. So happy to have you here. Good morning, my friend. Happy Friday. MMO Pug, I know that I'm able to have it follow. So I am using it to follow the player. That is not an issue, having it follow the player. It's having my input direction change. So here's the issue. Here's the issue. I'll get back to it in just a second. But first, yes, MMO Pug. Is there a way to make the camera, like when I press forward on the camera, that's when I press forward on my keys, it's giving me an X and Y of up, down, left, right. I want that to translate to not the player moving forward when I press forward. It's forward relative to the way I'm looking, and I'm applying a torque. Yeah, it's converting the camera, the input direction of my inputs to match the direction the camera's facing. The camera's following fine. But Thumbert Games, good morning, my friend. Did you know that today's stream is brought to you by the letter T? And T is for Thumbert Games. T is for Thumbert Games. Thumbert Games is a real game developer. I'm not a real game developer. I'm a wannabe game developer. I'm a wannabe game developer. I'm trying to just, I'm a programmer. I'm a programmer. I'm a hacker, not like hacking into things, but I'm a hacker in which I try to slap things together. Thumbert Games is a real game developer. They are developing a game in which you build drag racing cars. It's super awesome. 3D. He was showing me it the other day. You can go in, you can pull apart the engine, pull pieces out of the engine, combine parts in the engine. It's really, really cool. And then you can drive around. Thumbert Games, go out and check them out. Real quick, click that heart button. Give Thumbert Games some love because Thumbert Games deserve to be loved. All right. MMO Pug, no problem. No problem. Cinemachine looks awesome. Industrial Forest, happy Friday. Happy Friday. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to Captain Coach's Academy. I'm so happy to have you here. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask. I'll do my best to answer them. I'm deep in thought today on a problem that I don't know quite how to solve. I have the basic ideas on how to solve it. We're getting close. We're getting close. But if you have questions, I'm a computer science teacher. I'm a programming teacher. I'm a wannabe game developer. I don't develop games. I build game prototypes, little components of games. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on any one game. Maybe this summer I might. This game seems really, really fun to. I might go for a while on this one. But if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. But welcome aboard. All right. Tramox, dedicate your life to the game. Did you know? Did you know you just lost? You just lost by thinking about the game. By the way, I have this game. It's called The Game. I like to show my students it. The game, you lost. You lost. All right, here we go. Let's get back to it. The old tar schemes. I think you should build a game using viewer days. I think that would be really cool. I should set up a like suggestion thing on my Discord for that. I think it'd be really, really good to do. I think that would be really fun to do as well. Why did you make me think of it? I didn't make you think of it. You know, deep down inside, Tani, why did you make me think of the game? Deep down inside, you were already thinking about it. Twitch, yeah, it'd be like, you remember the Twitch streams games? It's like Twitch makes, all right, so something's, okay. Okay. Okay, so I think, so my forward 2D and my right 2D, those look good. And then the next thing I think I need to do is my raw inputs, forward 2D and right 2D. And I should probably, hang on. The multiplications, I feel like I'm getting close. Yes, do it. We need a suggests. There is, it's not quite a suggest. It's not quite a suggest, but on the Discord, there is a recommendations. Can recommend things to me, but maybe I should add in a, all right, we're going to create a new channel real quick. Hang on, we're gonna make a new channel for them. Why can't I create a new? I don't think I can make it while I'm streaming. I think it won't let me make it while I'm streaming. Awesome, Darkman. Thank you for sharing it. Is it okay if I check it out in a little bit? I want to get this, but yes, thank you so much for sharing. I want to check it out soon. All right. So when I multiply all this stuff, everything's getting zeroed out because my forward is 0. I think I need to do something like, all right, so forward 2D times raw input dot forward is the y-axis dot y. Okay, and then my right 2D is equal to my right 2D times my raw input dot x. All right, and then the total direction is like the sum of these. The sum of these normalized. Let's just do the sum of them for now. The sum doesn't feel quite right. Because I think if I'm doing just left and right, I can't go forward and, yeah, it's not quite. And my forward 2D is, I think, this. No. Z should be up and down. All right. We're getting close. We're getting close. I can smell it. We're close. I can smell it. We are at an hour and 40-minute stream, and I do got to take a break here. I have a little bit of coffee left. Maybe that's why my brain's not figuring this out. I haven't had enough coffee. I like MMO Pug's idea. Physics, marble cart, collect power-ups, and shoot banana pills. That's what we need. I was thinking of making this turn it into a co-op, not an online multiplayer, a co-op multiplayer game using 2 controllers. I had my partner, she played it a little bit last night and it was super cool in that regard. Okay, let's clear this. If I press up, my forward angle, this Z, is what I want. My raw input should be kind of forward. Hang on, forward. I got my Z there, it's the 1. That should be my Y. And I multiply that. I honestly might just need to translate this into 3D space rather than trying to keep my input vector 2D. Oh, so Darkman, because I'm streaming, I'm like in safe mode on Discord, so I can't make a new channel while I'm streaming, it looks like. I'm gonna try again. Let me try real quick. Create a forum. I think converting it, rather than trying to convert it into 2D and then using that, I think if I just make it so that like my movement input direction is there in 3D space, that might make it easier for my brain to handle. It's gonna mess up my like boost, but I can go ahead and do it. Let me see if I can do it again. I think I might have just been dumb. No, I think I was just dumb. Suggests game stream game stream. What should I call the channel? So it's like stream suggest game ideas. All right, I'm gonna call it just suggest game ideas for now. All right, so I created a suggest game ideas. We'll modify it a little bit. So I put it in the text channels. There's a forum here, suggest game ideas. You can make suggestions there. I'd love to see what you have. No promises that I'm gonna do them. No promise that I'll do them. And these should be ideas for like new games, not necessarily additions to this specific game. If you want to make suggestions to the marble game, I've got a crazy marble forum as well. But yeah, maybe I should just translate it to 3D space. So my forward and my right vector seem correct. It's like if I want to go right, I have the right vector showing up on the screen. So I have the vector drawing properly. It's just applying that, you know, so like my forward vector is that, my right vector is that. It's just not applying it properly. My forward, hang on, forward 2D is 0, 0, which is crazy. That's not right. Here we go. That might have just been the problem there. I just didn't name the forum Darkman. That's why it wasn't letting me do it. So if I do... All right, so and I don't want to... Okay. Not a negative. So my forward and backward should work from that regard. See if I can get my camera to do something wacky. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get my camera to do some weird swing rotation. Hang on, if I pause it and move my camera some wild amount. Will it unpause? No, it just jumped right back. Okay. Let us... it's gonna add these to my forward. If I add them together, I didn't think it was quite right either, but let's see. Let's try again. Let's try again with the add. My left and, sorry, if I go just left, let's come down here. If I do just right, just left, it's still working. If I do just forward, just back, it works. Okay, that, I got it. I got it. We got it. We got it. Look at us go. We're like a porcupine over here. Let's go. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That was a lot of work. That was a lot of work. Okay, but we got it. Look, we can... Ah, it's too fast. We got it. All right, we got to boost and jump here. Boost. Oh, oh. Can we do it? Look at this. Go. Woo! All right, chat, thank you so much for your help. Moonniz, thank you so much. Darkman, thank you so much. Everyone who is here, thank you so much for helping me out with this code. It was the addition here. I think we want to also normalize this. This should be a normalized. All right, so we're gonna take that, we're gonna normalize it. So our input direction is just sort of, is that right? Maybe not. No. Not normalized. We want it to be based on how hard we're pressing the axis. Normalized is wrong. Okay. We can get rid of this draw here. I'm going to leave this in for debugging later. Beautiful. But everyone, this is a momentous occasion. This is a momentous occasion. This was on our to-do list. Free movement camera isn't quite right. We did step 2. We did step 2. I'm going to put this down here. 3. Control should stay relative to camera perspective. S. No, Moonniz, you didn't mess up anything in the first half. It was all, I was trying to get there. I was trying to get there and it worked out. We got it working. But yeah, Tawny, everyone who was here, thank you so much for all your help. I could not have done this without you guys here. For being here for this momentous occasion. 100 points to everyone. Thank you so much. All 18 of you, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your help. I appreciate it. We're going to go for another hour and a half. Another hour and a half, but I do got to take a break first. But let's get this committed. Let's get this committed. The Cinemachine is cool. Cinemachine is cool. It's the machine that does cinema. All right. We saved that. We're gonna get a commit in here. Beautiful feature. Add context specific movements. Controls. All right. Oh, that feels good. That feels good. It's actually not that crazy. The math here isn't that crazy when we think about it. It was figuring out the right and the forward. There might be some interesting way to combine this, and I'm just too dumb to figure it out, but I don't care. This works. This works. All right. And what's nice is this sort of forward, it says like, all right, so this is like the relative user input direction. Beautiful. All right, we're gonna take a break. I need to get some more coffee because I gotta fuel. I haven't been drinking enough water, so I definitely gotta hydrate. I haven't had, my water's completely full here, so we're gonna hydrate as well. You gotta hydrate or die. If you don't hydrate, you'll die. Your body needs that water. I'm gonna get a little bit more coffee. I'm gonna drink most of this water, get a refill. We'll be back. We're gonna do some stretching. So stay tuned. Find something to grab onto. Hang on tight, and we'll be back in a couple minutes. All right. Got myself a new brew. Freshly brewed coffee. No cream, no sugar. Black coffee. John Francesco's coffee. Not a sponsor. Just a coffee I love. We're doing today. We have butterscotch toffee. Just a minor hint. Of that little butterscotch flavor. It's delicious. But we're back here. We're gonna do some stretching. So everybody, we're gonna get yourself up. Get yourself up. We gotta get that blood flowing. If you're sitting down, go ahead and stand up with me. Stand on up. Get up. Stand up. Captain's gonna stretch, and you can stretch with the captain and make your body feel great. You know, you should if you're sitting at a desk all day, hunched over like a troll, like a goblin, like I do. I'm standing now. It's rough on your body. So we're gonna do some stretching. My coffee's too hot to drink. So after we stretch, another benefit of stretching, my coffee cools off. So then I can chug a lug it. All right. Munya says, I will soon cross 10K points. You're almost there, my friend. Almost at the 10K barrier. Darkman says, I know I said that my main game will be updated in 5 to 8 days, but I got interested in development a lot and done with the update. It will be done by tomorrow. Ooh, fantastic. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Be sure to share it. Tawny, sorry I missed you. Have a beautiful day. My friend. Thank you for popping in. Unicorn says, would be interested to feed the code in ChatGPT and ask for a simple quaternion version. Ooh, that's a great idea, Unity Coder. I'm going to try that. Neil Tarsian says, quick question. I'm using Unity to build a Windows application. Non-game, is that usual? Is it working perfect for what I want? I've made applications. That's not true. I have built non-game tools in Unity. I think it's totally fine to do it. I was a consultant for a company that used Unity as like their tool for building stuff. They did like 3D stuff. So it was like really, really nice for them to have it 3D. It's not a game, but having some of the 3D stuff in there and the particle effects and some of the UI features. All right, so we're going to stretch, everybody. If you're sitting down, stand up. We're going to do some stretching. All right, so the first stretch, we're just going to get up on your tippy toes, reach up, touch the sky, and hold that for a nice 30 seconds. Get that blood flowing, stretch up. If you're at work, get your coworkers to stretch with you. If they're looking at you, they think you're funny. What are you doing there? You're like, no, I'm loving my body. My body deserves to be loved, and so does yours. That's what you can tell them. Your body deserves to be loved too, so stretch with me. Another 5 seconds here. Up on my tiptoes, reaching up as high as I can, and then I'm going to bring it down. We're just going to roll down, all the way down, and we're going to hang. Just hang for a good 30 seconds. Take a deep breath in, hold it, exhale. On the next breath in, we're going to slowly roll up. And breathe it in. Oh, didn't that feel good? All right, we're going to do a little bit of rotations. Just nice, gentle rotations back and forth. Bring yourself all the way across. Don't go fast. You don't want to pull anything. But as you get here, just stretch your body off to the side a little bit, back and forth. We're going to do this a couple times. I hope you're stretching with me, getting that body flowing, that blood flowing, because it's so good for you. It's so good for you, especially if you're sedentary. If you have a sedentary lifestyle, you're sitting at a desk all day programming, it's really good for you to get that body moving. Oh, feels good. Feels beautiful. 2 more. 1, 2. And you guys know I love my shoulder rolls, so we're going to do some shoulder rolls. Starting with the right shoulder, we're going to go back 4 times. 2, 3, 4. We're going to add in an elbow. Ooh, hear that nice pop? If you didn't hear that pop, I just had a really nice pop. Full arm. Bring it in. Just get that blood going. Get that blood flowing. Right, now we're going to go forward. Same thing. Nice shoulder roll forward. We're going to add an elbow in here on the 4th one. Forward. Dramo says, I have weekly appointments for massage. It really helps. Yeah. I used to, before pre-COVID, I used to go at a weekly massage appointment. 90-minute massage once a week was really, really nice. That was back when I was working at a big company. I made a lot more money then. As a teacher, the amount of money makes totally fine. All right, I'm full arm here. I'm well off. I'm well off, but I make a lot less money as a teacher than I had. Oh, I'm gonna do this one some extra. If you're feeling one of these feels particularly good, go ahead and do a little bit of extra. Almost done working out whatever I got going on in here on this one. It's not as bad as it was. All right, I'm gonna go forward on the shoulder. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I really like the deep. Not everyone likes the deep massages, but I like to just have that tension crushed into you, and then release it all. Oh, there we go. Get that blood flowing. Shake it out a little bit. Shake it out a little bit. All right, we're gonna hop back in here. We'll do a little bit of review. Yeah, Unity is used for a lot of different projects, not just game dev. It's one of their big things that they're like, we're not just a game engine, we're a development tool. Has an engine for lots and lots of different things. Okay. Unity Coder, I'm gonna try this. I liked your idea here. Let's see if we can log into chat. Chat GPT. I'm gonna put it into, give me a second, I gotta log in off screen here. OpenAI. And we're gonna log in. Grandma says, fun fact, when Unity was first made, it was strictly for Mac OS X. Mac OS, that's fascinating. That is surprising to me. Did they use C# initially? What was the base language? Do you know? All right. Got to get my 2FA in. Unity script, that makes sense. They had their own language. All right, so my plan now, I'm exploring a little thing here. Good question, Darkman. What's the plan? I want to add in I want to add in different camera styles. So I want it so the player can right click and rotate their camera around. That's what I'm going to try and get working next. I want the player to be able to right click and move the camera around, or on the controller. On the controller, I want the camera movement to be based on the right analog stick. So we're going to add in camera movement. But yeah, if we look at our goals for today, we added in, we have the camera sort of falling, doesn't fall behind. So we're gonna add in third person. I saw what you posted, I think it was Darkman, you posted it on here, the third person. Yeah, Darkman. I'm gonna steal your setup here for third person. All right, so we're gonna do a third person controller, which I love that idea, to do the follow behind. We're gonna do a free camera movement, and then we're gonna try and get the over the shoulder camera movement and make it so the player can sort of toggle between them. But free camera movement is what I want to do first. Thumbert Games, have a beautiful day, my friend. As always, keep coding, keep growing, and you're welcome back anytime. Okay. Playground. All right, we're gonna ask. We're gonna see if we can do this. All right. Optimize the Unity, the C# code above to use quaternion math. Quaternion. Let's do quaternions. Let's see if it can do it. Well, I should probably update that link size. Let us quaternion main camera transform rotation input direction. Well, that it might be. All right, I'm curious if this works. Handle movement. Old. I'm curious. All right, let's see if this works. Let's see if it got it right. Imagine if you just knew. Well, it's more about the you know, what is it? Is this trigonometry? It's not quite trigonometry. What's the maybe it is just trig. It might just be trigonometry. if you understood how the angles and stuff translated properly. But let's see. Let's see if this still works the way we think. All right, forward, backwards, left, right. Oh my goodness. It was able to it was able to do it, no problem. That makes, all right. I'm trying to get my camera to do weird things so I can see whether or not. Get my jumpy jump. Whee! Linear algebra, that's what I was looking for. That's what I was looking for. Okay, so this is an optimized linear algebra. Yeah, not trigonometry. It's related to trigonometry as far as like the angles go, but it's vectors. It's trying to figure out the vectors involved with it. So it's linear algebra. That's what I was looking for. Thank you, Moonness. Okay. All right. So this is sort of the simple. If we had a big enough brain, we could have just done it this way to begin with. But I have one of those small brains. My frontal lobe is underdeveloped. Is that what it is? Your frontal lobe? Is that right? No, you don't have a frontal lobe. Do you have a frontal lobe? I don't know. I'm not a brainologist. I'm a programmer. I'm a programmer, not a brainologist. I don't know about the brain. But I like it. I like it here. So goodbye. Goodbye. Let me see if I can understand this. So we have our input vector. Remember, this is sort of what I was saying. I think we can do it based off our camera rotation. That was my initial thought, and then I just wasn't smart enough to do it. I couldn't understand the math behind it quite well enough. So this is a really, really nice little thing here. LOL nerd. Are you laughing at me? LOL. Welcome aboard, LOL nerd. Happy Friday. So happy to have you here. Smab. It's good to see you, my friend. Welcome back. Welcome aboard. We've got some marble. We're marbling around. We're losing our marbles here, but we got it. We went through. I wish Smab probably would have been able to help us out here. Smab's one of the. I think Smab's one of the smartest people I know. But we got our input to be relative to the camera now, which is really, really nice. Okay. All right, that was cool. How smart is that? AI for the world. Okay, what do we want to do next? We are going to, I want to get free movement camera. You know nothing about Unity, but you might have known how to do this. So this was not Unity, this was Mathy. This was doing some math camera rotations. We had, this was our old input. So we figured out how to get the camera to follow our input. We wanted to explore the math, and so we figured out, using the camera's angles and whatnot. The camera's forward and the camera's right. We were use that to translate our inputs to be relative to where the camera's facing. And then we asked OpenAI, ChatGPT essentially, can you turn this into quaternion math? And it was like, sure. Here's the simple version. So then we got the quaternion version. So I think it was really fun to explore. I probably could have asked ChatGPT to just do it, but it was fun to go through the math and figure it out myself a little bit. And when I say math, not the math, but understanding these vectors. But this is probably a much more optimized version. So I'm really, really happy we did that. So not much has happened, Darkman. We are now, I want to add in the ability to make it, so anyone know, with my camera, can I make it so the player can move the camera by holding the right mouse button? I always want it to be aiming. I think I might need to add in a separate virtual cam. So this is just like CM follower VCam. So we're gonna I think we need a couple different ones, right? And then we're gonna have, you can do camera panning on the same camera. CM over shoulder third person cam. And then the other one, the last one would be CM free movement cam. I honestly think that the follower cam and the free movement cam, so now I'm not sure if I should. I think we deactivate status live. So I think we deactivate the one that we don't want, and then we could like have the player have an ability to switch between the camera modes. Muniz says no. You said a higher priority. Okay, so you said a higher priority. So I would change the priority of the one I wanted. Feels like a lot of work to set the priority in the code there. Bremel says you can do camera panning on the same camera. I want it to always be there. Okay. And also scrolling in and out, we could do like a zoom in and out thing too, would be cool. I want to look into, since I don't have any particularly good suggestions yet, we are going to Cinemachine camera pan mouse. Camera zoom in with Unity Cinemachine, camera panning in 2D. Camera pan with mouse movement. I'm gonna make RTS camera pan with zoom. Maybe I should just read the actual documentation. I don't want to watch a video. Watching video is hard. Pan is 2D. Okay. Rotate object around. I think, all right, so I think really all I need to do, since it's pointing my main camera, like all right, rotate, all right. Can't change the Cinemachine app also. Oh, hang on. My camera also has the stupid marble follower. I bet this has been causing weird problems. Hopefully that wasn't causing any real problems. Need to change the VCam values. Can I? All right, so body. Let me do that. Aim. Center on active, noise, dead zone width, aim. All right, we're gonna do Cinemachine camera rotate with mouse movement. What's best strategy to drag mouse move to rotate camera with? This isn't that old, 2 years old. The best way depends on what you're training. Can you give some details? Need to remove mouse X. Input wizard system. More than anything, I want to figure out how can I change the angle of the camera. Cinemachine, not necessarily with user input. All right, Cinemachine. I want to change Cinemachine, change camera angle. I'm gonna change the cinema virtual camera position. In the scene view, how old is this? 2018. Change angle of Cinemachine, follow at runtime. When is this from? 2021. I have units in attack team with the VCams on the object, and they're set in prefabs. Yeah, so my goal I just don't is it the simple follow that's the issue? If I do world space here, hang on. Maybe it's actually world space. All right. So there was a thing where it was sort of following with the mouse before. Okay, so I should be able to adjust the X offset. Is that? No, that's not quite what I want. The aim feels lock to target with world up. This was not correct. Yeah, because that made everything go oh, but it's like when I move my, I think this makes it follow my mouse movement. World space. World space, simple follow with world space. I don't think I want the simple follow because that is making these sort of hard set. So it's related to world space. But I want to be able to adjust yeah, so then I should be able to move the camera using these. So if I were to drag, all right, so now I need to translate those to offsets with how the mouse is, you know, the way the mouse is moving. All right, so we should be able to move, oops. Okay, all right, so the follow offset, we always want to be aiming towards our, all right, so this feels better, but we should be able to move the camera around now. So we want world space, and then if we click and drag the mouse or use the analog stick, those get added to this somehow. We might need to be able to add in, all right, so we have some like defaults like that. Okay, all right, I think that makes sense. All right, so we want the follow thing to be changing. Yeah. And then we might, after we release, we might switch back to, because it is kind of nice to have it auto follow you. Like the camera's like, I'm gonna try and be smart about the position. So it might be nice to have like a simple follow thing there. And then when you click and drag, it switches off of it. And then it sort of switches back based on what you're, although that's interesting that they don't. All right, so getting the follow offsets there. All right, so we want to be able to adjust. Okay, so we're gonna add in an input. All right, so we're gonna leave this on world space. And we want a free movement. This isn't related to marble, this is our camera. All right, so we're gonna add in our inputs. No longer marble controls. we have our camera controls, although it might still be under marble controls. Yeah, our action map, we're gonna call this camera controls. And we want this to be a mouse movement. Can we make this be a mouse movement, or do we have to be like a right click or something? The binding, listen for right mouse button. So it's like if the right mouse button's held, so it's part of the keyboard controls, I think. And then we sort of need to read the mouse movement. All right, I'm curious. Mouse, these are just buttons. All right, so we can only read buttons in our input controller. And instead we need to sort of track where the mouse is while we're holding down the button. All right, so it's gonna be our right mouse button. All right, so this action would be like start camera, or camera mouse rotation. What would be this? What would be a good name for this one? This is sort of like our camera rotation. I'm gonna just call it camera rotation. We have a different action for our controller, so this one's gonna be a little bit different to do. So the controller one is gonna be our what should be the name of this? Rather than camera rotation, should be like mouse or camera camera rotation. This is a terrible name. I need a better name for that. This one's gonna actually be our move camera. And this one's gonna be bound to our controller. All right, this one should be a vector. 1D axis. Let me make it a 2D axis. What did I do here? For my movement, it's a 2D vector composite. 2D vector, hang on. Add, what did I add in a composite? Value, there we go. This one's a move camera, this one's a value. So maybe we can do the camera motion as a value as well. All right, so move camera. This is going to be a gamepad. Movement value. I can't remember this. Movement's a value. Positive, negative. How did I get this to be? Control type, vector 2. There we go. I am smart. I'm smart. I know how to do this. I've been here. All right, so our move camera is going to be a value. It's going to be a vector 2. And it's going to be, we're going to add a binding. It's going to be our listen. It's going to be the right stick on our gamepad. All right, so we're going to get that. This is part of our gamepad controls. We're going to do the gamepad controls first because getting the camera to read is going to be interesting. Because we're going to have to do our right button. And then we also have to add in for our... yeah, it's like a move camera, but only if it's being held. We're gonna do the gamepad one first, I think. All right. Let's see if we can do our move camera controls with our analog stick. Okay. And so we're going to open up marble controls. And that's not quite right. We want our camera. We create a script here called camera controller, camera rotation controller. And this thing's going to needs to be able to get our marble movement controls. We can actually just give it, like, have it spawn its own, because that's not really related to the marble controls. It's related to like the controls on the screen, which makes me think maybe just maybe it shouldn't have, I should make it like a different input or rename this from marble inputs to something else. All right, so here's this. All right, so it's gonna have its own. It also needs a reference to our virtual camera. So it's gonna have a public, what's the element type on this? Let's take a look. The camera says Cinemachine virtual camera. So let's see what this script looks like. Where do I import? Using the namespace Cinemachine virtual camera. Okay. So public Cinemachine virtual camera. Virtual camera. And we'll import that namespace. Using Cinemachine. I need to add this to my, hang on. So the new thing, I need to add it to my assembly. All right, so my crazy marble needs the Cinemachine there. And I gotta click apply. Let's see if we can reopen our camera rotation controller. Okay. We do have a virtual camera. Let's add it to the inspector just to field, serialize field. And we're gonna add our component here. This is gonna be attached to our camera rotation controller. Really, it just has one of these things. So I don't need to make this have that, I don't think. Instead, we're gonna say that this require component Cinemachine virtual camera type of, like that. And then when we wake up, we're gonna go get that. We're gonna go get it. So when this thing wakes up, void awake, then we set that. Is chat working? Can you hear me? Is my voice working? Unicode, I did see your chat come through. Maybe chat was not working previously, but it seems to be working. If you sent any message, so the message I have right before that, people are just quiet. They're contemplating. We're just quiet. It's okay. It's okay. Sometimes silence can be deafening, and that's why I'm here. Keep you from going deaf. Virtual camera is going to be equal to get component, the Cinemachine virtual camera. All right, and the idea, and then we're going to register our axes on our user input. So user input dot camera controls dot move camera. Smab, it's very quiet. Muniz says, just did my tax declaration thing for my company. Now I'm pushing the last work things before taking a weekend. Good for you. Taxes, very important, but very, very painful. Can be very painful, especially for, in the United States, self-employed people, including myself. Taxes always feel a bit taxing, you might say. Dot, I gotta do plus equals handle camera rotation. Okay, we're gonna add in a private void handle camera rotation context. Go steal that real quick. What is the inputs? Marble movement. This is our callback context. There it is. Callback context. Tani, welcome back. Welcome back. Sorry I missed you. Sorry I missed you when you left. Welcome back. You haven't missed a ton. You haven't missed a ton. Game controls. We are in the process of adding in some movement, some camera controls to our controller. What am I doing wrong here? Oh, dot performed. Okay, so here is what we're attempting to do. And then I also need to cancel user input dot camera controls dot move camera dot canceled. Stop camera rotation. Private void. I'll catch you up in just a second. I don't want to lose my train of thought. Camera rotation, callback, context. All right. So what did we do while you were gone? We did some stretching. I don't know if you saw the stretching. We got some stretching, and we're taking care of our bodies. All right. We're trying to add in a free movement camera now. Trying to add in a free movement camera, so we can sort of. I want it to be a right click and you move around, but we're gonna do it on the controller analog first. All right. So I have a controller, and the idea is my right stick is gonna be for camera movement. I can rotate my camera around if I do that. Okay. And so we played around with our camera follower to see, well, what setting does it need to be on to allow that? So we have one camera called our follower cam. I might rename this I'm gonna actually rename it here. Free movement. That's gonna be our free movement vcam follower. So it always is looking at our player, but rather than being world space simple follow, if we switch it to just world space, we can adjust the X and Y offsets, which allows us to, if we do it properly, the X and Y offsets let us change where the camera appears around our player. All right, so we can kind of rotate around the player if we do that. If you do it well. All right, so it's like the combination of the X and the Y allow us to sort of rotate around the player. So the thing is that I'm going to try and figure out is how can I translate what I'm pressing on my controller here on the axes to my X and Y rotation. And I'm going to do the same thing for the mouse. The mouse is going to be a little bit different. I want it to be if I'm holding down the right mouse key, it also will rotate around. And I'm not sure what that looks like, but we're going to play around with that setting down here. So I haven't done a lot of 3D camera manipulation stuff, so it's going to be interesting to see what that looks like. Yeah. So I'm really curious to see what that looks like. And again, also with our Y offset, it's probably going to adjust our Y as we're moving around too. Not just all of those, but our Y will probably change so Y is changing up and down, but to make it feel like the total distance from our marble stays the same, the Y will probably have to adjust, right? So if I want to, I'm about to sneeze. Excuse me, sorry about that. If I press down on my analog, my Y should move down, and then I probably want to make it so we can't, maybe I'm okay with it moving below like that, but thank you. But yeah, so the combination of my X and Z when I go left and right needs to update properly, and then my Y when I go up and down. So we're gonna play around with that and see if we can get it to feel good. Right, so so we created a control. So in our inputs, we added it to our marble control, which I'm not sure makes sense. But we added an action map called camera controls, and we have a camera move, or a move camera, which is attached to our gamepad. Our start camera is going to be related to our holding the right button down, and then we're going to have to do some extra stuff with that scheme. I'm not 100% sure how to do that just yet, and that's why I'm going to do the analog stick first to play around with how that looks, and then I think we can sort of translate that into the mouse movement. And thank you for your blessing. Okay, so handle camera movement. I think this is part of update, but we want to sort of do the same thing where we get our input vector. So I'm going to create a private vector2. Maybe I just make this a public vector2 input input vector. By default, it's 0. All right, so it's a vector.0. And our context would just say, okay, take that, and then we're gonna make our input vector equal to context.value, read value, vector 2, because we know we're getting back a vector 2. So it's sort of like our input there. And then if we stop, we set our input vector to be 0. So if we're no longer pressing the button, it's 0. So it's sort of the same thing we were doing before with our movement, but now it's on a different analog. And then in update, depending on what the input vector is, we're going to, using delta time, apply that in some way. So I think the easiest thing to do, and so we have our virtual camera here as well. So protected void update. So each frame, we're going to say, okay, well, if we need to adjust our camera angle. So it's going to be virtual camera dot, hang on here. Let's look at the context. Get some context clues here on how to use it. So our virtual camera dot body dot follow offset dot body. Can I virtual camera dot follow? So I'm curious if this is going to adjust our follow. Dot offset. And maybe I should look at the documentation. Let's see what this is. It's a transform dot. That's interesting. So like my question is, how do I get to this? The distance vector that is aligned there. All right, so let's look at this real quick. Follow. Get the follow target for the body component. Oh, so this is what we're following. Not, okay, so it's definitely not follow. I want to see if I can get down to this. So our mode is transposer, and I'm assuming, all right, so that might be related to transposer. I need to adjust body.follow offset, maybe. When I was looking here, when I was following the clues, there's no body. Yeah, so I just need to, I think I need to look at more of the documentation here. Managing and grouping virtual cameras, setting virtual properties. And I want to do it programmatically. The target to be following, looked at the lens, position blending. I might not, all right, so body. Let's I want to modify. So if I change this to something else, it goes to nothing. So it's related to the transposer. It's related to a transposer. So I need to somehow, when I select transposer here, what is that doing? In my virtual camera. So virtual camera dot, it's probably some sort of like get force camera position. That's interesting. Follow target change, get Cinemachine component. Get components. Max damp time. We got to look at the, I think I really need to just look at the documentation to understand it better. Body properties. Transposer. All right. Get transposer in code. I want to be able to get the code. Cinemachine, get body transposer in code. How to access body damping from scripts. Class Cinemachine transposer. This is a Cinemachine component in the body section. So I want to be able to access it. So I'm assuming I can do something like this. Get Cinemachine component. Cinemachine transposer. I can do something like this. But there's different, so there's aim. Let's look at, see, it might actually just be there. Stream crashed. Am I crashing? So real quick, am I crashing or is it your system? I'm just curious. I don't know. I don't always know. Let's see if this works. Transposer. And we probably want to cache this if this is the case. Let's do this. Debug.log transposer. Let's see what that looks like. Transposer dot. I want to look at one more thing. So I want to get the offset. I think it's the offset. Follow offset dot off. Follow offset. Right, let's see if these sort of match up with what we expect and whether or not we can modify those. Okay, take a look. 10 -10. Okay, so it looks like we can access it that way. So we're gonna assume that it has the transposer. All right, let's save this. Private Cinemachine transposer. Our transposer, and we'll set it here. And we'll do an assert. Debug.assert. Transposer is not equal to null, and if it is, we'll say virtual camera has no transposer. Okay. In our update, I want to be able to change that, so I'm hoping we can do transposer.offset. Let's go look at that. Can I? The distance at the vector, yeah. So I should be able to update that. Let's see if we can update it slowly. Vector 3, new follow offset, or offset is going to be equal to our transposer.m follow offset, and then offset.y plus equals 1 times time dot delta time. So we should be able to see it moving if this works the way I think it will work. So we're gonna take the offset, we're just gonna slowly translate it up essentially like 1 degree per second, something along those lines. Let's see if this does anything. It does. Okay, so it does that. We can adjust it that way. So we can keep moving our camera up like that. So the question is, how do we translate the user's input in a way that is like useful, a way that it's useful for us? So there's some like rotation math we kind of got to figure out. But we're gonna say if input vector is a 0, we do nothing. Otherwise, we attempt to apply like our rotation. So we want to maintain the correct distance at all times. Tani says, I read about something called the velocity vertlet the other day, and I think we could implement it in jumping, going off track, but just putting it out there. A vertlet. I'm not sure what that is, but possibly. So the idea is, I think we want the camera distance. So if we were to calculate the distance from the player to the camera, I want that to be a constant. Virtual camera, this doesn't need to be serialized anymore. I want the distance, like the overall camera distance, to be the same. A verlet, I've never heard of that either. But I'm a simpleton. Public float. What am I gonna say? This is like our target distance. Yeah, so we want the total distance. I think that's what I want. We want the total distance to always be a specific distance. And so, and Immortal Simpleton, it's a new design pattern, a single responsibility singleton. It's a simpleton. Exactly. The captain is a simpleton. Yeah, so our target distance should be mostly the same. Target distance, get private set. I'm gonna say I want this to be 10, right? And so the idea is, Johnny says this was supposed to take 15 minutes. Exactly. Field, serialized field. The idea is that this distance remains the same, regardless of like the angle. So it's like the idea is if I press right on my analog stick, if I'm holding right, it's gonna cause the camera to motion, to pan around. So it's gonna update the camera's angle, right? So it's supposed to rotate the camera's angle and then move it so that way whatever the angle is, it's that distance from the player. And my thought is that the Cinemachine should kind of be able to do this anyway. And so I'm like really, there's like a part of me that's surprised that it can't do this. The idea is that my let's see here. I shouldn't be able to change these because it's always set by this. Yeah, so we kind of want to... Enver says, yeah, I think it does. There's like a stick setup that you follow something, and based on how the camera rotates, it constantly is the pole attached to the object. You can actually, yeah, so you can actually just say that we can use the distance from it to calculate the distance. Unicur says, Cinemachine Free Look Cam has those circle tracks already around target. Forgot what it's called. So it's like I want free look with aim. So I want the camera to always be pointing at the player, but to be able to rotate the camera. Look at target, follow target position. Cinemachine rotate camera controls. Transposer and composer for top-down objects. I wrote my camera on Cinemachine. Rotating and zooming cameras using Cinemachine. One of the most requested features students ask for while taking the RPG course is how to implement a rotating camera. While going through the course myself, once we reached the lecture of creating a Cinemachine follower camera, the resulting camera is great, but sometimes I wanted to zoom right down on my character and appreciate the art from GameDev.tv. I immediately implemented a zooming script and posted it for other students, knowing I also wanted to be able to rotate the camera to view the action from any angle. I mentioned that I would circle back to the same lecture and post how to create a rotating camera as soon as I figured out how to do it. Here's how I did it. All right, great. Open the Cinemachine menu in Unity and create a free look camera. Add the free look camera to your core prefab. This sounds like exactly what I want, exactly. Add the free look camera to your core prefab if you have one, and here you can see I disabled my old follow camera, that lecture and how to look. Make sure your free look camera has a higher priority than anything else, like maybe 100 or something. Obvious, and assign your player prefab to the follow and look at. Remember to override the priority in the cinematics. I'm sharing some code below that will look for this camera by its tag. You can change the tag on the camera in the code to anything you want, but if you want to just copy and paste the code, make sure to tag the camera player framing camera. So that's what I used in the below scripts I will share. I'm going to share some settings to get you started with setting up the free look camera. For those of you who want to learn about what these settings do, refer to the Unity's video. In the axis controller, I'm going to share some settings, start setting up the free look camera. All right, so there's like an axis controller. I'm not going to use this. It's going to be based on my own. Open the rig setting and scroll down to the bottom rig and apply this suggested setting. Now it's time to attach the following script. So let's look at what this script does. The name must match the class for Unity to compile correctly. That makes sense. So we're gonna get, I'm not looking at I'm planning to use a free look camera. So I'm going to keep reading through this and then I'm gonna try and implement. It's really, really important, I think, when you're reading something like this to read the whole thing first and then go back and follow the steps. If you just start following the steps from the top down, you're often gonna run into trouble. So it's important to look ahead to see what's going on. I think I'm just on a virtual camera right now. So I'm gonna finish reading this and I'm gonna add it in, or try to add it in. Although we only have 13 minutes left, so we might not get it in today. Friday's my day where I teach back-to-back classes, so I have to end on time on Fridays. So yeah, I wanna read through the whole thing, decide if it's really what I want, and then try and use it rather than trying to implement it as I go. Because I think it's just important. A lot of my students do that, where they just start copying and pasting things I'm doing without reading the whole thing. So I always try and tell them, make sure you read the whole thing first, then go back and do it. It's 7:47 here. So I have, yeah. Okay, so our free look camera, this is sort of like what I was saying, my mouse button's gonna set up whether or not I've done it. So it sets my rotation speed to something, and then we sort of get the Y delta, how the camera's moving. All right, this script will detect whether or not you're holding down the right mouse button. It then gives you access to dragging. Smab, you should just jump straight to step 10. You should make step 10, ignoring steps 3 to 9. Exactly. So I'm not worried about the zoom. In your player tab, be sure to drag the free look camera into the serialized field. All right, so our free look camera. So this is interesting. All right, so I'm gonna just for what I'm doing here, I'm gonna disable this. And I'm gonna go to Cinemachine. Hang on, that did not. Cinemachine, add free look camera. All right, so free look camera. This might solve just by using the free look camera might solve a lot of my issues. Okay, so here's all the access controls. Unicorn says, I posted a screenshot on Discord. You can see those free look cam rig paths. Gotcha. Cool. Thank you. We're going to follow our player. And we're going to look at our player. Okay. So now we should be able to do some following here. That's kind of cool. All right. All right. Okay. But now we want to make it so that okay. Okay. So Unicoder sent us some stuff on the Discord. Tested. Is this Unicoder? Your M gear? I'm assuming. Tested the quaternion method on my project. Seems to work. Also, player moves the cam then. This is what we were doing before. Free look cam image. All right. Middle rig. Oh, it's so open in browser. Maybe that'll help with the resize. There we go. Player look, round robin. Access controls, max speed. Use mouse to move cam, maybe. I do want to be able to use the mouse to move it as well. I'm going to close this. I don't need that open for now. Body. I'm just going to play around with this for now. This is sort of like over the shoulder camera, which is interesting. Oh, the mouse. So it sort of does pick up the mouse already. Yeah, so it does already pick up my mouse. It's just not while I'm holding stuff down. So that's interesting. See the orbits radius. Orbits. Okay, orbits. Simple. I liked it as world space before. Is that really what I want? I think just world space is what I want, rather without the simple follow. 4.5. 5. All right, so we increase the radius to get further out, I think is what we've done. All right, so let us 5, 5, 5. Ooh, yeah. And then 2.5 and 1. That works pretty well. It's just I want to be able to keep my camera rotating more, right? So I want it to like click and drag. Okay, so I'm gonna take those. 5, 1, 5, 5. I'm gonna make it a little further. There we go. Yeah, I saw that too. I just am dumb. I didn't click it. Uniker says there is a save during play at the top of the cam. Yeah, so we can have it saving during play, which is probably what I should do more often than not. You can save camera settings in play mode. You just gotta be careful because I'm probably gonna be adjusting as we go. For click and drag, I think Unity replied in forums once that you set speed to 0 when not clicking. That's exactly right. So in our demo here, they did the same thing. It said, get mouse button, it finds it and sets it to 0, or you can set it on and off. The other thing is all right, so our axis speed. This is interesting because I want it to be, I do also need to be able to control it using my analog. So I think we can, It's using an input axis name. We'll have to play around with that. I think we're out of time, kind of. Not too much. Let's go with the mouse thing. Let's see if we can get the mouse working here first then. All right, I do like that. Okay, we're gonna do the following. All right, we're gonna do camera rotation controller. We are going to say we're gonna have a Boolean. All right, we're gonna have a Boolean public bool move camera is camera movable. By default, it's false, and then we're gonna do the following. We have a input, so user input dot camera controls dot start camera rotation dot started. So if we are holding this, oh, there's other thing. I need to add an enable thing here. There's some one sec. Public protected void on enable user input dot enable protected void on disable. I know we're almost out of time, Tawny. It's sad. Time just evaporates. All right, so there's one little thing there. This is going to be, when we start it, is camera movable? It's going to be true. Started. Is it performed? Oh, plus equals. All right, there we go. Started. So when we start the mouse click, and when we cancel the mouse click, it goes to false. Okay. So this is like our right. This is currently connected to our right click, and we're gonna say if is camera movable. Our speed. We need to get the axis speed. It's gonna look like this. Cinemachine free look. Cinemachine free look. Okay. So come back over here. Get rid of these. And we'll have to come clean this up in a little bit. Public. Cinemachine free look. Free look camera, get private set, and down here we're gonna get that. So this is our free look camera is equal to get component Cinemachine free look. Okay, so we have our free look, and the idea is that if it's clicked, our axis speed. All right, so our axis speed. If camera is movable, our Tawny said, for real though, I sit at my computer thinking, let's implement shooting today at 10 a.m. and time evaporates and suddenly it's 6 p.m. I know, the evaporation of time is very real. Free look camera dot m axis dot m max speed is equal to 500. Okay. Else we're gonna set it to 0. We'll add a little debug in here saying debug.log camera is movable. All right, let's see if that we'll look at things here. I might also need to set the y-axis and stuff. Unicoder says, would be interesting to make this camera system from scratch. I mean, it feels simple. Just follow slowly, look at, rotate. Yeah, Unicoder, I think it'd be really, really fun to do a lot of these things from scratch, just to understand, like, well, what's the math with how I'm rotating, that sort of thing. Console. When I right click, nothing's happening. Did I actually add that in to our inputs? Hang on. Set our speed to 0. So it shouldn't move at all now by default. Doesn't move at all. I want to detect. Oh, did I add my listener? Start camera rotation, canceled, true and false. It isn't in our update. So I assume if I put this here, we would see is not movable. I think it's related to my actual inputs, but you know what? Actually, this is not attached to this object. I didn't put my camera rotation controller. CM1 for the has multiple. Oh, hang on. I gotta get rid of this. This needs to be Cinemachine first. Free look. Okay. Cinemachine free look, and we'll remove this component. Okay. There we go. It works. It's just not up and down. So like we can rotate around here. It's really, really slow. Like you'd have to adjust the like speed of movement and stuff. All right, so that's cool. Not bad at all. Similar, I think we could make our y-axis do the same thing. M.y-axis. Yeah, exactly, Tony. We're gonna change the y-axis there, and then we're gonna stop for today. Unfortunately, sadly, did not reach all my goals today, but we did have fun. We can, not quite what we want, which is interesting, or the speed's just too fast. Oh, and I didn't reset it. Let's try 10. Set this to 0. Let's get rid of these debugs. And then we'll need to add in the controls similar for the axis for the controller. It's a little bit better. Turn off my gizmos. All right, so we could potentially we'll play through the level real quick. We'll play through the level, and our code to make it so that, you know, the direction is based off the camera is good. The movement, so it's the max movement. So I do think I need to figure out how to make the camera. Oh, hang on. All right, so we want to line ourselves up here. All right, here we go. Can we beat the level? Oh no! Too far. Okay. All right, but that was kind of cool. All right, cool. We've made some progress. We made a lot of progress today. Spent a lot of time getting the movement to be based off the camera. We explored how to do free look, camera movement. We're gonna play around with that tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow. 7 a.m. Eastern. So looking forward to that. And we'll make some more progress. But thank you everyone so much for being here. It's been lovely hanging out with you. I hope you learned something. I learned a ton today. I hope you all learned something. as always, keep coding, keep growing. We're going to find someone to raid. We're going to find someone to raid real quick. And I apologize. I might play with this a little bit off stream because this is just too fun. Yeah, Tony, I'm planning to look at some more stuff off stream. I'm not a big fan of like watching tutorials and stuff on stream. It's a little bit awkward. Awkward's not the right word, but I'm not entirely sure what I'm trying to say. We're gonna go raid Terran making a cool puzzle game in Unity. So we're gonna go raid Terranam. But as always, keep coding, keep growing, have a beautiful day, and you're welcome back anytime.